Azusa was a salaried employee in Japan, but she died suddenly at the age of 27 due to overwork, and after her death Azusa was brought to meet the goddess who rules the world. The goddess was very sympathetic to Azusa's fate of dying young, so the goddess wanted to give Azusa an ability before reincarnating, and Elsa asked the goddess to grant her immortality. Soon after, the goddess granted Azusa the ability she desired, and at the same time reincarnated her into another world in the form of a 17-year-old girl. Azusa had found a small house in the highlands, and from the inscription on the house, Azusa knew that the goddess had prepared this place for her. Azusa saw a village at the foot of the mountain, so she decided to go to that village to learn more about this world. And on the way, Azusa discovered that there were no strong monsters around this place but only slimes, so the people in this village lived a very peaceful life. Azusa went to the guild to apply for registration as an adventurer, and after checking her stats, the receptionist was surprised, because she was only level 1 and she already had the magic of immortality. Because she was disgusted with the crowded life in her previous life, Azusa decided that she would live a comfortable life in this life, from growing vegetables, raising fish next to the house, regularly killing 25 slimes every day. Sometimes I go to the mountains to pick herbs to make medicine to sell to the villagers. More than 300 years have passed since Azusa was reincarnated into this world, and she was now able to kill a slime with the snap of her fingers. The people of Flata village have long considered her as their guardian deity, as she has helped the village through many great tribulations during the past 300 years. When she went to the Adventurers Guild to sell her loot, the receptionist was curious about the level of the village guardian god, since Azusa hadn't measured her level in 300 years. Azusa is not very confident in her strength because for the past 300 years she has only defeated weak slimes, but when it was measured, she did not expect that she had been level 99 all the time. Thinking that the level check stone might be damaged or something, the receptionist told Azusa that the amount of experience she had earned from defeating slimes during the past 300 years was not small, which was even equal to the experience gained from 4,280 dragons, so the receptionist was sure that the current Azusa was the strongest in the world. The next morning, someone came to Azusa's house to challenge her after hearing that she was the strongest in the world, and just entering the battle, Azusa created a tornado that blew the whole group of adventurers away. Compete for hundreds of meters. Rumors of Azusa's power quickly spread around the world, so a red dragon named Laika came to Azusa's house to request a duel. In the air battle that followed, Azusa locked the dragon's muzzle with ice magic before it could spit fire, and in her panic, Laika knocked down her small house. Azusa is extremely angry that her beloved house has become a ruin, so she asks Laika to bring the money to the temple, or else she will turn it into a dish. The next day, Laika transformed into a girl to bring money to Azusa's temple, and she asked permission to be Azusa's disciple. After thinking for a while, Azusa agreed, because Laika would become a perfect assistant for her. The cooking and washing work would be left to the disciples to do in the future. However, Azusa's small house could not accommodate 2 people, so Laika helped her build a new, larger house. Because she is used to the diet of dragons, Laika always cooks a lot, but Azusa feels that the food she cooks is delicious. The next morning, a little girl named Falfa ran to Azusa's house to find her, and as soon as she saw Azusa, she called her mother, much to her surprise. The girl reveals that her sister Shalsha is looking for Azusa for revenge. As it turns out, Falfa and Shalsha are both slime spirits born of slime spirits that Azusa has destroyed over the past 300 years. And while Falfa considers her a mother, Shalsha wants revenge on her for the murder charges. Slime species. Soon after, Shalsha sought revenge in front of Azusa's house, and Azusa's magic was completely useless against Shalsha, as she spent her life cultivating a magic that could counter Azusa. However, Laika only hit one and Shalsha fainted, because she was only busy practicing magic to fight against Azusa, so when fighting other races, she was very weak. Everyone took Shalsha inside to take care of her, and when she regained consciousness, she panicked and tried to attack Azusa, but her magic took another 50 years to work. Falfa advised Shalsha to give up the hatred in her heart so that she could live a happier life, and after realizing Azusa's kindness, she decided not to seek Azusa for revenge. However, Azusa suggested that the 2 children come here to live with her, since they are both her daughters after all, and she organized a small party to welcome them back to their mother. That night after dinner, an elf girl named Halkara went to Azusa's house to ask for help, and although Azusa refused, she still insisted on entering the house. Halkara proudly boasted that she had successfully made a very popular tonic, But a demon named Beelzebub fainted after drinking Halkara's potion, so she is looking for Halkara very hard. Halkara has no choice but to ask for the help of the world's most powerful witch, and Azusa has also agreed to help Halkara by accepting her as his disciple in the house. During her stay, Azusa discovered that Halkara knew a lot about plants, so Azusa let her help him pick herbs in the forest. However, this elf is extremely clumsy. They found it very strange that all Halkara's energy drinks and food had been eaten, and after a while of searching, they discovered that Beelzebub had turned into a fly to sneak into the house. Beelzebub said that she spent a lot of time trying to track down Halkara's whereabouts. Azusa and Beelzebub challenged each other to a duel, but before it could begin, Beelzebub was injured because he accidentally touched the protective membrane around Azusa's house, so Azusa had to take him north to the house for treatment. For her, as it turned out, Beelzebub, along with many other demons, had become addicted to Halkara's energy potion, so they wanted to find her to order more. And the fact that she fainted was only due to overwork. During breakfast the next day, Beelzebub said that she would still come back here to finish her battle with Azusa, and even offered to adopt one of her cute babies, but of course she gave up. Deny. Laika invited everyone to her sister's wedding, and she drove them to her home located in a volcanic area. Everyone was surprised when they joined a dragon party for the first time, and Laika led them to meet her parents along with the bride and groom. Suddenly a swarm of green dragons suddenly appeared in the sky to attack the red dragons at the party, and the dragon leading them was named Flatort. Azusa did not intend to interfere in the war between the two dragon families, but in order to protect her daughter and her disciple, she had to fight. Azusa had used her tremendous physical strength to fight the green dragons, and their ice breath had no effect on her. Flatort stood up to face Azusa, and Azusa was able to defeat her with a single fireball and kick, but she managed to escape along with her juniors. However, Beelzebub captured all of them while bathing in the hot springs here, and Azusa asked Flatort to transform into a human to ease conversation. Flatort was then ordered to pay for all damages she caused at the wedding, and Azusa and Beelzebub would testify until she paid all the compensation. After that, all the dragon guests had turned into humans for the wedding ceremony, and Flatort had also come to congratulate Laika's sister, but she was still feeling jealous and left. When the wedding ceremony ended, the girls went to enjoy the hot springs here together, and Azusa was happy to realize that a peaceful life with such a small family is too wonderful. Halkara has opened an energy drink factory in Flata village, but she is currently unable to hire workers, because it is rumored that her factory is haunted so no one dares to go inside to work. Azusa asked Beelzebub to help them capture the ghost in Halkara's energy drink factory. That night, the three of them went into Halkara's factory together, and while Beelzebub was very calm, Azusa and Halkara were trembling with fear of ghosts. They entered a room where the ghost was supposed to appear, and as soon as they saw a chair move, Beelzebub rushed to catch the ghost, forcing the ghost to manifest itself. That ghost is the spirit of a young girl named Rosalie. She committed suicide because her parents forced her to marry an evil man, and after death, her spirit could not leave the house. Their own, even until a factory was built on this land. Beelzebub reveals that the soul after death will be confined to its home, but the soul can still go out by entering another person. So, Beelzebub asked Rosalie to enter Halkara's body, as she was a coward, well suited to be a vessel for spirits. Rosalie successfully used Halkara's body to get to Azusa's house, but she was unable to escape Halkara's body. However, when she got Rosalie drunk, Halkara returned to take control of her body, and after throwing Halkara into ice water, Beelzebub succeeded in separating Rosalie from her body. To dispel rumors of ghosts in Halkara's factory, Azusa asked Rosalie to fly around the village to help everyone, making them feel more secure. Beelzebub announces that Azusa will receive the Demon's Medal of Honor for ending the war between the two races of blue and red dragons, and that everyone will have to visit the Demon Kingdom to receive the medal from the Demon Lord. Beelzebub and a giant whale take everyone there, and on her back is a splendid hotel run by her sister. Everyone stayed together in this hotel for one night, and the next morning they reached the demon capital to meet the Demon Lord. However, when they entered, they saw only a child named Pekora, and Halkara was not careful and said bad things about the Demon Lord to her. But when she was told by Beelzebub that the girl was the Demon King, Halkara panicked and knelt down to beg for his life. Pekora found Halkara very funny, so she didn't blame her, so she immediately jumped up in joy, but accidentally bumped her head on Pekora's face causing her to faint. Halkara was immediately placed in prison by the guards awaiting trial, and she will likely face the death penalty for treason. The only person who can save Halkara right now can only be the demon lord Pecora, so Azusa concocts a potion with a very bad smell to wake her up, and Azusa will disguise herself as a doctor to enter little girl's room. However, when she arrived at the door, the officials still discovered Azusa, so she had to remove her disguise to fight them, and with only a few hits, all of her elite soldiers the demon world was quickly defeated by her. Azusa went into the room to give Pecora a potion, but before she could drink it, she immediately woke up, and she thought that Azusa was planning to poison her with the drug, so she challenged her to a duel. Duel with Azusa. Pecora has very fast movement speed along with her large sword, but no matter how fast Azusa is able to dodge it all, and she uses Fire Fist to knock Pecora's sword away. After that blow, Pecora's sword was broken, and she was quickly defeated by Azusa. Despite losing, Pecora was happy to find someone stronger than her, so she asked Azusa to become her older sister, and demanded that the soldiers release Halkara immediately. The next day, everyone gathered on the stage to see Pecora award Azusa the Peace Medal, and Laika and Flator were also awarded medals for their contribution in repairing the relationship between them. Two dragon races. However, in order to maintain this peace, Pecora forced Flator to let Azusa touch her horns, and according to Green Dragon custom, that meant Flatort would have to serve Azusa as her master for the rest of her life. On the way home, Flatort and Azusa became closer, but that made Laika feel very jealous because she was the only dragon in Azusa's house for so long. Laika and Flatort had been arguing constantly, and Shalsha said that the two of them were becoming hot-tempered because they hadn't eaten meat in a long time. Suddenly, the receptionist at the Adventurers Guild came and gave them a mission to hunt wild boars that were destroying crops, and Laika and Flatort were very interested in this mission, because they would earn a lot of money. Lots of fresh meat from wild boars. They had organized a wild boar hunt together by the stream, and after the hunt, Azusa organized a barbecue for everyone. Thanks to eating pork, Laika and Flatort regained their composure. That night, Azusa invited the two dragon girls to sleep with her so that the three sisters' feelings were more and more attached. While on a mission in another town, Azusa overheard that someone was using her name as a Highland witch, and that the impersonator might be using her name to make a mistake. Bad job, so everyone was determined to find that person. Azusa along with Laika went to a tavern to investigate the imposter. The two knew where the fake was, and when they got there, they discovered that the fake was an old woman. Azusa exposed this fake in front of everyone so she quickly ran away, but Azusa was still able to catch her, and the old woman had to manifest herself as a young girl named Ino. Ino explains that she is a pharmacist who produces drugs, but she is not confident when appearing in front of people to sell drugs, so she has to transform and use the name Azusa to stand in front of customers. After that, Azusa gave Ino some advice to make her more confident in herself, so Ino was then able to confidently stand in front of customers to sell drugs. Shalsha panicked and informed Azusa that Falfa had suddenly turned into a slime, and that after trying everything but she still couldn't turn back into a human, Beelzebub asked everyone to meet a wise slime in the palace of the Demon King. However, the wise slime didn't know how to turn Falfa back into a human either, so he directed them to meet the slime witch. Everyone went to a mountain together to meet a slime witch, and they were surprised to learn that the slime witch was also transformed by a slime. After checking Falfa's condition, the slime witch concluded that she was turned into a slime due to sleeping in the wrong position, and the only person who could help her was the slime fighter, so they had to come again. Arena in the south of the kingdom to find her. In order to make it easier to talk to slime fighters, Azusa and Beelzebub also participated in the tournament, and the two of them just swinging their arms lightly was enough to defeat the other big boxers. Beelzebub's opponent in the semifinals was the slime fighter, and she just had to flick her hand and the slime fighter was instantly defeated. Soon after, Beelzebub asked the slime martial artist to help Falfa turn back into a human, and Azusa was overjoyed to see her daughter back to normal, but the battle wasn't over yet as Azusa would have to clash with Beelzebub caught in the final round. Beelzebub said that she had been looking forward to the day of rematch with Azusa for a long time, and it was because of this day that she trained hard day and night. But no matter how much training, it cannot match Azusa's strength, and Azusa easily won the championship of the martial arts tournament. When the match ended, the slime fighter asked to be Azusa's disciple, but when she realized that Azusa was a slime exterminator, she was extremely scared, and she quickly changed her aim to be a disciple. Beelzebub's death. A rabbit man singer named Cuckoo has come to Flata village to perform for everyone to see. The entire audience quickly left with only Azusa and Flator, and midway through the performance, Cuckoo suddenly fainted from hunger. Azusa brought Cuckoo to her house to feed her, and after bathing everyone was surprised to see her bare face, which looked much more dry than before. Cuckoo said that she has been pursuing the street music industry for 30 years and still cannot succeed. Seeing this, Azusa advised Cuckoo to continue pursuing her passion if it made her happy, and Azusa would let her stay in his house for a while until it succeeds. Cuckoo is touched by Azusa's kindness, so she decides to give Azusa a rock song. Flatort stated that the rock style wasn't suitable for today's audience, so she suggested that Cuckoo try changing her musical style. During Azusa's time at home, Cuckoo tried to compose a song with a light music style, and she used Azusa's family as the theme for the song. After hearing Cuckoo's new song, Beelzebub immediately asked her to go to the demon world's capital to perform at their concert, and was shocked to learn that she would be performing in front of the crowd. 1,000 spectators. The next day, everyone got together to take Cuckoo to the demon world to perform, and despite being a little nervous, each of her performances was a success. Many in the audience shed tears when they heard her sing. When the concert ended, Cuckoo received many contracts to book her shows, and with each show, she had enough income to continue her singing career. Soon the people of Flata village will hold a festival to celebrate their harvest, and Azusa decides to open a small restaurant in her house to serve the people on the day of the festival. Everyone got together to come up with a menu for the restaurant, but no one came up with anything good. Laika suggested doing a giant egg rice challenge. Halkara offered to serve customers with energy drinks. Falfa even suggested grilling locusts to sell, so Azusa decided she would create the menu for the restaurant herself. Everyone spent a day decorating their restaurant together, and the restaurant's opening announcement was also spread throughout the village. On the day of the festival, even though it wasn't time to open yet, customers had already lined up in front of Azusa's house, so she decided to open the door 1 hour earlier than planned. Everyone is very satisfied with the service in Azusa's restaurant. Beelzebub is angry that Azusa didn't invite her to open the restaurant, but seeing everyone busy working, she helps. Pecora also went to Azusa's bar to help her, and she delighted the diners with her innocent appearance. Outside the restaurant, Ino also took the opportunity to greet the customers who were queuing to buy her tonic, and Cuckoo had a small performance outside in the courtyard for everyone. Azusa's restaurant had to wait until late at night before it was empty, and even though it had to be a tiring day at work, the girls were still very happy with their restaurant. Had a very good working day. Thank you for watching the entire video review about this anime. I will also put other videos of the channel here. Don't forget to press the subscribe button along with the bell button to receive notifications of the latest videos.